So if you're 42, 47, 52, and you're doing the same workouts that used to work, but your body looks and feels completely different, you're not imagining it. And it's not because you're not trying hard enough either. Something real is changing in your body. And once you understand what it is, you can actually train with it instead of fighting it. So I'm going to walk you through exactly what's happening hormonally, why strength training is the single most protective thing you can actually do right now, and how you need to train differently than you did at 25 with a specific setup backed by current research. All right, so I went back and looked at all the things that are working and what's really not. So let's get right on into it. First up is the disconnect. Here's the frustrating pattern that I hear constantly. I mean, I hear this constantly all the time. I'm eating the same. I'm working out the same. Maybe even more actually, but I'm losing muscle, gaining fat around my midsection, and to compound it all, I'm tired. That's not a willpower problem. That's actually biology. Somewhere in your 40s, your hormones start shifting, and that shift changes how your body responds to exercise, how it responds to food, sleep, everything. The workouts that built your foundation in your 20s and 30s stop producing the same results because the internal environment they were working in has now changed. All right? Sad fact, but it is. So before we talk about what to do, let's talk about what's actually happening here. All right? We need to figure that out before we can figure out a diagnosis. So what's happening to you hormonally is a big thing. That's a big problem. First up, let's talk about this. So estrogen decline is a big part of this. During perimenopause, which can start in your mid-40s, sometimes earlier, estrogen and progesterone, they start fluctuating before they gradually start to decline. Menopause itself is defined as 12 months without a period. So I don't know anything about that, but I have a lot of sisters and I have a wife as well. So here's why that matters for training. Muscle protein and synthesis starts to slow down. Estrogen actually supports the signal your body uses to build muscle. So when it drops, the exact same workout starts to produce a smaller muscle building response than it used to. Same effort, smaller return. That's real. It's not you doing something wrong. All right, so keep that in mind. Don't get the frustrations ahead of you. So muscle loss actually accelerates. Everyone loses muscle with age. Everybody, men, women, everybody. Typically 3 to 8% per decade after 30. But once estrogen drops, that rate speeds up. One study comparing women in early versus late perimenopause found the late perimenopause group actually had noticeably less muscle in their arms and legs. This is the stuff nobody tells you about. Menopause is not just flashes, hot flashes and mood swings. It's happening at the muscle fiber level. Again, my wife, my sisters, all going through this. They can tell you these are the facts. All right. So reaction time, coordination, and motor unit recruitment decline as well. So even if you're holding onto your muscle mass, your strength expression can still dip because the signal from the brain to the muscle gets less efficient. So that says a lot. Now, bone density comes in here as well because estrogen was protecting your bones. Without it, that protection starts to fade, which is exactly why fracture risk climbs in perimenopausal women. And this connects directly to muscle. Research is showing that with reduced muscle mass, women with reduced muscle mass have over double the risk of falling and nearly triple the risk of fracture compared to women who preserve their muscle. If you're nothing else, this is why you need to do so, right? So protein synthesis loss also increases. Neuromuscular efficiency, bone density, all those things. So that's the bad news. Here is the good news. There is good news. All right. The good news is that training still works. How do I know? All right. So the body has not lost the ability to adapt. It has not stopped responding to training. It hasn't. A recent large-scale analysis pooling over 150 clinical trials and more than, it was thousands, right? I think it was like something like 6,000 adults. Over 60 found that the resistance training reliably improved more muscle mass, muscle size, strength, and walking speed, even at this stage of life. So it means if you start now, you can catch up. And here's the detail I love most. A 12-week resistance training study on women 40 to 60 found improvements in hip function, flexibility, and balance. Those gains were similar across perimenopausal as well. Great news for all the ladies in my life. Perimenopausal and postmenopausal women. Read that again. Menopause doesn't shut off your ability to get stronger. It changes the conditions you're training in, not whether the training actually works. So the goal isn't give up because it's harder now. The goal is to adjust the approach to match what your body needs right now. All right. Once you get that concept, good things happen. All right. So what does need to change, you may say? Here's where most women get stuck. I've seen this happen a lot. They either keep doing what they did at 25 or they downgrade to those little mamby-pamby workouts. The general workouts because someone told them to take it easy during perimenopause and menopause. Both are mistakes. Here's what the research actually supports. And I've seen this when I've trained a lot of different women, a lot of dozens of women I've trained. All right? Train closer to failure with real weight. Research suggests that perimenopausal women need higher training volumes and intensities than younger women to build muscle. Moderate intensity training that worked at 30 may not be enough now. All right? Lifting near failure in the 4 to 6 rep range to 3 to 5 sets shows the biggest strength gains in this population. All right, so it means you got to push yourself a little more. You get tired. All right, that means lift heavy. Whatever heavy means for you right now. All right, some people it might be 5, 10, 15, 20 pounds. I don't know. All right, but try and lift a little bit heavier than what you normally do. Don't make it comfortable. One of the most well-known trials in this space, the Lift More trial, puts menopausal women with low bone density through 8 months of twice-weekly resistance training. That included impact work as well as hinge, squat, push, pulls, plus gentle jumping or landing movements. The result? Actual bone density gains in the spine, plus better strength and balance. This combination is doing something. Cardio alone or lifting alone doesn't do as well. All right, so you got to put it all in there to make it happen. It's like spices in a pot. Put all the ingredients in, makes it taste good. So recovery is also a big part of this, not optional, because muscle repair and recovery slow down the recovery window between sessions. It matters more than it used to. This is usually the first thing women cut when life gets busy. And it's the thing you can least afford to cut right now. So make sure you get your rest. Make sure you get your recovery in there. Doesn't mean you take a week off, just means you get your rest. All right, strength training, more cardio. This is a common instinct. Get rid of strength training, do more cardio. I'm gaining weight. I need more cardio, right? That's right. That's what people think. But the strongest evidence for protecting your bone and muscle during this transition is actually the opposite. Cardio still matters for heart health, but it's not the fix for what's happening here. What's happening here is you need to lift heavy, you need to build muscle to protect your bones, keep your strength up, and also stay lean. All right, stay lean. So here's what the research back week can look like. You can certainly do this. All right,